In today's video, I take you guys through a leg workout, a lot of exercises that aren't commonly seen. There's timestamps to all of that below, so feel free to skip ahead. I don't talk as much as in the previous videos, so there's not a whole lot of me ranting, but a lot of interesting exercise. So check it out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and if you like the video, like the video. Yeah, tune in. Today I decided to start off with Zercher squats as my first exercise. Kind of still on the Tom Haviland style kick. So he does a lot of Zercher movements or Zercher based movements. So to keep up, I guess, or to keep up with his style of training, I'm throwing in some Zerchers today. I'm deciding to pause at the bottom and get to 6 reps. I'm pausing at the bottom because I feel like it gives me more of an explosive feeling. So I'm gonna go a little heavier, go for 6 reps on each set, and we'll see how that goes.
Yalla man, yalla. Wasting time.
Alright, next set. Thank you.
I'm not kidding. I can't do it. Alright.
Thank you.
I know I talk too much.
No, it's fun talking to you.
Sorry.
No, it's good to see you.
Oh, sorry. I said sorry.
No, it's fun to talk to you. Alright.
I said sorry.
Shut up. Alright, final set. This will be, I guess, a Zercher PR. I'm really looking to get under it, and then I'm applying force upwards to kind of get the tension so that all my body parts know how to fire. Those are the cues that I'm giving myself, especially because it's a heavy set. I'm making sure my feet's placed all right, and making sure the bar's feeling nice and snug in the elbow area. Good set. I'm gonna do a deload set just to. So after every heavy set, I like to do one more set. Very light. I'll probably just go with just the bar. I find it helps me reset and yeah, just feel good after a heavy set. So for my next movement, I'm doing dip bell squats. There's probably some other name for it, but I don't know what the name is, so it's squats and I'm using a dip belt, so I'm gonna assume it's called a dip belt squat. Alright, so I'm having my toes placed outwards, and one of the things with this is with most other leg movements, like traditional squats and goblet squats, the weight's starting above you. Here, the resistance is starting below you, and also the way your feet are placed makes your inner groin get recruited a lot more. I'm using 25 so that the plates don't hit the floor and I can get a full stretch. If I used 45s, the base of the 45s would hit the floor and I wouldn't get the full stretch. The 25s does make it a little awkward, but it is what it is. Alright, time for something else. I like the way the previous exercise felt in my groin, and I kind of wanted to keep attacking it since I don't feel like it's an area that I concentrate on enough. So I decided to keep going with doing something that was deep and wide. So I decided to do I guess deadlifts, but in the same position, which will activate things a little different. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm trying to keep my arms laced together, and when I go down, I want it to hit the floor, or at least if you can't get there, get as close as you can to that. I'm hinging at the hips first, then bending at the legs to get down, and then reversing that motion. Hinging at the hips is this, bending at the legs is this, and then when you've been working out for 12 years and you've been doing legs pretty much every week or multiple times a week for the past 12 years, you start getting bored of regular exercises and then start coming up with stuff like this to still keep things interesting at the gym. I'm gonna do one more set of that. I've been going for 10 reps each set. And then after that, I feel like I'm gonna stay on the landmine, but we'll think about that when the time comes. Alright, final set. something new. For my next exercise, I'm doing squats on the landmine, but keeping the landmine on one shoulder for 5 reps and then switching. Bring the landmine up, keep like rested on your trap. You're leaning into it, and so you're staying on your toes, which means your the big thumb of your feet or your big toe should be feeling stretched right about now. And then as you squat in, bend at your knees, and there's a lot of weight now on your quads, your knees, and your toes should feel very stretched too. And then stay on your toes the whole way through. When the weight's on your shoulder, you want to keep your elbow tucked in and kind of glued, or at least this is the position that I feel the most stable. So the elbow is kind of glued to the side of my body. It keeps the landmine in place and makes it feel more secure. And then just go ahead with the motion. The first rep usually feels a little awkward, and then I'm able to kind of recalibrate and get things where it needs to be. You know, when I first got into lifting, a lot of YouTube pages and social media pages, some of the most popular ones were about just making fun of people who weren't doing traditional exercises. So anything that seemed a little, I guess, weird, like even they made fun of CrossFitters, and there were some things that definitely was worth making fun of. But I think some of that kind of caused hesitance to experiment, at least in my early years of lifting. And now, like, I almost dislike doing all the regular exercises, and I love doing all the other ones. I don't necessarily hate, I guess, or hate or dislike the regular exercises, but there's actually quite a few of them that I hate the bench. I dislike doing bench. I'll do dumbbell bench, but not regular bench. Just stuff like that. So don't be afraid to experiment. There's a lot of fun to be had at the gym and a lot of stuff to be discovered. Next set. All right, next exercise. I felt like staying with squats on the landmine, so I'm doing staggered stance squats with the landmine. I felt like staying with squats on the landmine, so I'm doing staggered stance squats with the landmine. I've noticed that doing movements like these, which force me to stay on my toes and stay at full knee flexion, makes me more comfortable getting into those positions when there's no weight involved, which in turn translates to ease of movement in day-to-day life. So last time I had the barbell in the same hand as a back leg. Now it's on the left side. And so let's see how this affects the movement. So right away, one of the things I notice is the opposing side core seems a little bit more activated. But everything else seems pretty much the same.
What's up, dog?
Not much, how are you? Same as with the previous exercise, my arm is glued to the side. You're pressing in the angle that the landmine moves with.
Yeah, like try this out first and then take your foot up. Start
Thank
like,
you.
sitting down
Thank you.
and like put the mat on your floor.
So for the next movement, I'm doing a suitcase deadlift. I like the suitcase deadlift because with a suitcase grip, the opposing side core works really well. I also feel that because of the angle of the landmine, I'm able to get a better mind muscle contraction on the glutes. It looks like this. So when I'm at the bottom, I'm applying tension into the floor and using my hands just as a hook. I'm going for 10 each side. It also helps correct imbalances because if one side is stronger or some muscles on one side is stronger, it's going to get a more even distribution of resistance. So I'm feeling a lot of activation on the obliques because of the offset. I really like doing movements like this because it mimics real life a lot more. Very rarely do you have even weight on both sides, and I think it's good to do movements where there's an offset. So for the next movement, I'm doing sled drags. I'm doing an intense sort of circuit, so sled drags one way, then we'll do backward sled. and then immediately go into medicine ball throws to the floor. The goal is to do a light-ish movement and use full explosive strength to keep the heart rate going, especially after a heavy movement like the sled. None of the earlier exercises really seemed to get me cardiovascularly stressed, so I wanted to throw in at least a couple of sets of sled and a circuit to do that, and after that will be mobility and abs. Probably record one more set of this, but yeah, this is what I'm doing now. Similar to all the other exercises, I'm progressively going a little heavier each set. I find that to work the best for me. I got all my squats and Zercher style movements, and now with the sled I'm able to get some more volume in to the legs without necessarily working in the eccentric ranges of motion, and able to accumulate more volume without necessarily feeling the stress of a regular squat. It's still very stressful, but doesn't feel as taxing or as something that'll get you sore as a squat.